Royal Bafokeng, and their full year headline earnings per share slipped 12.5% to R1.67 after it increased the number of shares in issue as part of its listing in Johannesburg last year. Revenue for the year ended December rose 8% to R2.9 billion. The group's production, however, slipped 4.2%. RBPlats Chief Executive Officer Steve Phiri said that although the current economic climate remains challenging, the company's outlook remains positive. That's the word I want to start with. And the question comes back, do you get into the stock or do you just get into the metal itself?
Well,
after these results, does that change your mind?
No, I think you're right. I think that the best way to play the platinum story is to be in the metal at the moment.
Sure.
I think that the metal has to go up significantly higher, and we think it will, because I think we'll go from a surplus to a deficit situation fairly shortly as the global economy picks up. But, you know, I think there really is some headwinds in platinum mining in general. The platinum miners are battling to increase production. Sure. We saw a fairly credible number coming out of RBPlats today with kind of flat production numbers, 282,000 ounces. The real significant issue or positive you can take away from this is that their cost control was, relative to its peer group, fantastic. Group costs at 9%. Its peer group is growing at between 14 and 16%. So that's positive. I think the balance sheet here is very strong. So, you know, the valuation to me looks fairly full, and we would rather be in the platinum metal before buying a platinum equity like RBPlats.
Yeah, I was actually looking at the closing prices and stats that came through today. The price to equity ratio, based of course on today's numbers, coming in 36.52 times earnings. Now, when I look at those numbers, I mean, they do suggest in the face of it to be quite expensive. Craig, if I can come to you, did anything in those results change your mind about RBPlats or getting into the metal? The same question that I put to Anthony.
Well, you know, I've always seen Aquarius as one of the lower cost producers, but of course we've had this problem now with the Mimosa operation with Implats in Zimbabwe, which is going to play out hopefully the next 2 weeks. But you know, so if you look at the costs of all the other producers, Implats, even Implats to a degree is over 11,000, 11,500. So the cost was a problem. But there's a couple of things that one worries about with the platinum producers besides costs. You also worry about labor pressures, you know, and strikes particularly. Whereas I think what I like about Royal Bafokeng is they've put that to bed. They've got this 3-year contract that they've signed. It's quite interesting, about 64% of their labour force are contractors. So the permanent labour force they've tied up for a 3-year contract, so we know there's stability on that side. Their costs are pretty low, as Anthony said, 9%, just short of 9% increase, but still, it's 9,800 platinum tonnes per ounce, as against to a range of between 12 and 14,000 with a lot of the other companies. So they're very competitive on that point of view. So I like that. I like the fact that they operate in both the Merensky and the UG2 reef. They're able to contain their costs. They got an ungeared balance sheet, which is also unusual if you think of the likes of Lonmin, which I like as well. But Lonmin's highly geared, whereas here they're sitting on 1.3 billion in cash. They've got a 750 million rand facility from Nedbank, of which they've only used 150 million for guarantees. So there's certainly a lot of positives. And in fact, if they were prudent and, in my mind, brought back 11 or 12% of their issued capital, using that capital wisely, and brought back their shares, they would have seen flat earnings, which is totally contrary to what the other platinum producers have done.
Yeah, Craig, I'm hearing a lot of likes and positives there. That suggests to me that you're coming up with one answer. Is it hot for you?
Yeah, I think out of the platinum producers, it is certainly looking hot. It's not a share I had studied very closely before, but I looked at the results quite carefully today and what's happened, and I like the story. I think it's actually it is hot. Even the comparisons with the likes of ARM that came out on their platinum producing side, I think there's a lot of positives, so it's hot.
It's another hot from Craig. Anthony, if I can come to you, I mentioned those stats, 36.52 times earnings, current earnings, of course. What does that place it for you?
Yeah, we think this one's fully valued. We think it's probably on a DCF basis worth about 65 Rand a share. It's trading at 60. So we think that although the company is well positioned, its costs are very attractive on a relative or peer group relative basis. Yeah. the valuation is full, and we think this is not hot.
Absolutely. But the market did like it today, up 2.4%, closing in at 61 Rand and 3 cents.